What's going on, Wiggler Nation? Mother Coconuts here, Monster Hunter World's 14-weapon healer main with the heals for yo feels, potions for yo emotions, and tissues for yo wishes. And on today's video, we're going to be channeling our inner spicy culinary chef with the amazing food buffs that you get from the Canteen. Before we begin the video, as a reminder, if you want to ask me questions regarding the topic of the video or hunt with me, I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with bonus streams scheduled on the weekends when available on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/mothercoconuts. Link in the description down below. Also, if you happen to enjoy the content I put out on YouTube, please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. It'll greatly help me grow and is greatly appreciated. So I've noticed a lot of questions during my live streams regarding the Canteen and what exactly it can do. Before we can do that, I want you to think about the Canteen like another layer of armor set bonuses. I'll get more into detail about that later in the video, but for now, let's dive right on in. Starting out, I want to talk about oven roasting. It's an option in the Canteen that allows the handler to roast an item for you in return for materials such as rations and nutrients and things like that. If you're interested in what exact items you can get for roasting certain items in the list, I placed a link next to the Canteen oven roasting section in the video with the description next to it down below for you all. Now on to the actual Canteen foods here, where you're going to notice that I personally divide them into 3 categories. The first one is considered one category, which is paying with money and paying with food. Each one is pretty self-explanatory, with one option costing you Zenny to use and the other uses research points to get your meal. These are your most common options when it comes to ordering your food, with your lowest chances of landing special food skills. More of that idea and topic later in the video. The second category is pay with a voucher. This option was available since launch of Monster Hunter World in Base World, and with a regular voucher, it is used, you have a 100% chance of activating the food skills made available to you, depending on what platter you decide on. The only caveat is that you will, depending on the food you choose, it may not give you the maximum 50 points of health and 50 points of stamina, thus giving you the highest food, stamina, and health bonus allowed in the game. And finally, out of the 3 categories we're going to be selecting now the pay with gourmet voucher option. The gourmet voucher is an option made available to us during Iceborne, and not only does it have the 100% chance of activating the food skills on the platter you have, like a regular voucher, but also gives you the plus 50 to your maximum health and stamina for your hunter on the hunt you're going on. So easily this is the best option out of the 3 categories to pay for your food and kind of get you the best bang for your buck, so to speak. So depending on how many gourmet vouchers you have, if you have a bunch, use them before every single hunt and just constantly go into a hunt with maximum everything. Or if you don't, use them on the hunts that you think are going to be the toughest in order to kind of get the benefits of every voucher and just have to save on materials like max potions and ancient potions and things like that. But Mother Coconuts, how do I get a gourmet voucher? They seem to be the best ones to use all the time. Well, I'm glad you asked, Hunter. The best way to get gourmet vouchers is to go to the Guiding Lands and get Steamworks Fuel by my name. When you go over to the Steamworks with fuel and turn on the higher output option, which is the 10 times option, you can end up with some pretty insane results for vouchers and other items. And as you can see here, like some super insane numbers. Now that we talked about the 3 categories of payment for platters, let's talk about the actual meat and potatoes of the video, the map. When you go into the menu, you're gonna come across a vast selection of platters. Please take note of 2 things: that each platter is using a different combination of ingredients, and also within those type of ingredients, a color variation of that. So if you look at the ingredient section, you're gonna notice vegetables, meats, fish, and then on the top left of every icon is a different color. It's super important to remember that. But Mother Coconuts, I don't have as many menu platters and ingredients as you. Help! Great question, Hunter. If you want more platters or ingredients, then all you have to do is all of the low rank, high rank, and master rank quests along with deliveries. This will get you access to the much needed ingredients to create some very powerful food combinations. Now that we know each platter contains different ingredients of varying colors that are unlocked by completing various quests and deliveries, let's see what some of the platters actually offer in terms of buffs and skills. Okay, to be able to read what the platters do, I want you to start from top to bottom, so it goes meal effects, ingredient effects, and food skills. So from top to bottom, because each section will kind of touch base on the previous one mentioned. The first one up is meal effects. This is the health and stamina increase you will receive upon consumption of the meal. So with the meal I have set up right now, I'm going to gain 50 stamina and 10 health if I choose to eat this meal. Ingredients. These are the combination of items used for this platter, and notice the variation of item types. You have meat, you have fish, you have vegetables. There's also a fourth tab for drinks specifically. Also take note the color that it belongs to on the top left of the item. So these two are kind of like an orange. This is a blue that they belong to in the blue section, and this belongs to the red section. More about that in a little bit. But also take note that these scallop chips are also shining. This just means that the ingredient is considered fresh, and when consuming fresh ingredients, it will increase the chances of activation of your food skills. Ingredient effects. Here is where you get to see what your choice of ingredients have netted you in terms of status effects. Okay, so remember when I told you earlier in the video, to help explain what Canteen buffs can do in terms of ingredient effects, I want you to think about them like set bonuses for armor? Well, here's why. If you look at the effects and the requirements here, I have 2-piece meat, which are giving me attack of small, 2-piece fish, which is giving me defense of small, and 2-piece vegetable, which is giving me elemental resistance. So the meats give you attack, the fish give you defense, and the vegetables give you elemental resistance up. The drinks, they don't give you anything the more requirements you have or the more set bonus you have on them, because they have special food skills. But the 3 skills you can have is attack up, defense up, or elemental up. So depending on which one you want to prioritize for yourself as a Monster Hunter player will determine what kind of food you want to eat. So for example, I enjoy having a lot more attack on my build, so then I'm going to always eat for all the meat. So I'm going to change these fish and just replace them with whatever meat I see. And now, if you look over here, because I have 6-piece meat, I now have attack up large. So if I wanted more defense again, I would eat more fish. If I wanted more elemental resistance, I would eat more vegetables. And now finally, the food skill section. This is where the color on the top left of your food ingredient, no matter which one it is, whether it be meat, fish, or vegetable, those all share the same food skills. The drinks, however, have their own special set of food skills, and I'll go into that right now. You're gonna notice that if you eat 2-piece courage, it will get you feline polisher. 4-piece courage gives you feline rider, and 6-piece courage gives you feline slugger. Depending on what combination of food you eat in that section for this food skill, you can also not only just net your attack up large with the meat section, the 6-piece meat, but if you do a 6-piece courage skill on top of the 6-piece meat that you did, you're gonna end up netting the feline slugger skill. Now, what other skills do we have available to us? So as you can see, there's many of them. So like I said, I'm gonna go over which ones the meats, the fish, and the vegetables share in common. They all share courage, which is any of these set bonuses, resilience, any of these set bonuses, vigor, any of these set bonuses here, acumen, and artillery. So the first three categories of food, which is meat, fish, and vegetables, share all of the previously shown skills. And depending on how many of each you eat, will affect how much of a gain in attack, defense, or elemental resistance you receive. But the fourth food ingredient, which is the drink section, has its own very special set of food skills, and that's why they don't come with a bonus like attack up large or defense up, elemental resistance. They don't give you those bonuses, but in return for these special skills. So the following skills are going to be available to your drink. So depending on how many drinks of this color and nature you have, will give you this feline skill if you have enough to activate it. So feline iron carver, exchanger, carver high, which gives you an extra carve on the monster. You have the fortune section, harvester. This is a very good one for guiding lands. Feline fat cat, increasing the amount of zenny at the end of a quest. Lucky cat, sometimes increases the number of reward items. This kind of mimics your lucky vouchers. You have cleats for the preparation section. Tailor, safeguard, and the trailblazer section that holds gardener, scavenger, and zoo master. Okay, take a little breather. This is a lot of information, but let's have a small recap of what we've learned so far in the video so we can dedicate the last part of the video to tying everything all together. We learned that the canteen offers you a wide range of different food skills, and also depending on the ingredients you get certain food buffs. And on top of that, now you're going to be able to discuss with us the combination of them and why certain weapons can benefit from certain combinations of food buffs. So let's get over into the last part of the video, custom meals. Okay, Wiggler Nation, let's put everything we learned during this video into action. Here is the custom meal section, and if you have many of the ingredients, you can make some pretty awesome food combinations. For example, let's look deeper into my blade food set. Just like I taught you before, let's read this list from top to bottom. Meal effect. This is the increased health and stamina from eating this platter, and in this case right now, 50 stamina. Ingredient effects. 6-piece meat gives us attack up large, which is what I look for in my personal food buffs. Food skill. Okay, here's the custom part for me. I choose 4 of the purple skill section in order to give me feline medic. This gives me increased health recovery from items. And a 2-piece red meat for feline polisher, which gives me a speed up in sharpening time on an occasion. As you can see, there are a lot of different combinations that end up with so many different types of buff that there's something for every type of player. So please take your time, don't get overwhelmed, and find your personal favorite platter and save it. Wowie, that was a lot of information. But the cool thing about it being in a video is that you can go back and focus on one section at a time to really absorb what I'm organizing for you. Go get your money's worth out of Monster Hunter Nation and level up your hunting experience. I really hope you learned something about canteen preparation for each hunt. If you feel like you learned something in the video, hit that like button, comment on what you want to see on my next video, and subscribe please. If you would like to discuss anything in this video or hunt with me and my community live, don't hesitate to hit us up and talk about it on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/mothercoconuts. Link in the comments and description down below. Thank you for watching the video, Wiggler Nation. And like always, keep it wiggly and happy hunting.